55 through to about 1968 when New Zealand had troops in Taiping, Malacca and Borneo. And all of the veterans now are getting old. The youngest here is 72 and the oldest is 82 years old. I'm 78, so there are no more new Malayan veterans because there's no more fighting. 57 are veterans and the rest are friends or wives. So there are about maybe about 5,000 veterans still alive, but they're dying at a very fast rate. About 5 now are dying because they're in their 70s or 80s old. So maybe in 10 years we're all gone. I don't know.
What does it mean to the veterans?
It's the first time that we have ever had a plaque outside of New Zealand. In fact, we don't even have a plaque in New Zealand. This is the very first time, and it's an honour and a privilege to have the plaque there because it is something that our grandchildren can come and have a look at. So it means a lot.
Did you serve in Sarawak?
No, I didn't serve in Sarawak. I served on the Malay-Thai border. And we trained to come to Sarawak, but the New Zealand government didn't make a quick decision. And when they did make a decision, the battalion had changed over. So I didn't come here. I went on the Thai border. I did 2 tours of duty on the Thai border.
How many years did you serve?
Sorry?
How many years did you serve?
3 years. That was the standard time, was 2 to 3 years. Today, most soldiers only spend 6 months overseas. And in fact, Malaysia is the last place we sent a battalion, and a battalion is 800 people. And now we have troops in Iraq and Afghanistan. It's always only a company, about 150, 160. But in our day, it was 800 per battalion. I served in the army. I was a signaller. But in being a signaller, first you had to be a soldier, then you became a signaller. So being a signaller didn't get you excused duties. So in addition to my pack, I had to carry a radio. And in those days they didn't have cell phones. So each radio weighed about 5 kilograms. And when you're carrying that in the jungle up and down, plus the batteries, and the batteries used to be quite big, not like today. And of course, you know that here at 6 o'clock at night you get a lot of lightning, and we had to sit and use Morse code. Nobody uses Morse code today. So everybody just uses satellite phones. So easy. But it wasn't easy in my time, I tell you. I laugh now, but not laughing then. So. Any other?
New Zealand soldiers that
We lost 37 New Zealand soldiers buried here. Yes. No. We didn't lose any in Sarawak. We lost some in Taiping, and we lost some in. We lost quite a few up on the border operation when the Malay Communist Party was at its strongest. We also have some Vietnam war dead buried in Malacca because at that stage the government's policy was not to bring the bodies home. Now the government has just changed its mind and they're going to dig them up and take them back to New Zealand. So Australia has already done that, and we are always last.
So you guys have not started, the government have not started yet?
No, not started yet. I understand that it will be early next year. So there's a lot of protocol to follow. You just don't get a spade and dig up. You have to consult the next of kin. What happens if one person, maybe the mother says bring him home, father says no? What do you do? So a lot of negotiation, very sensitive negotiation. So Yeah, I'm glad it's not me who have to make the decision, because you know the early people died in 1957. Who is still surviving from that family, you see? Maybe 2 more generations have passed, and they don't know the man that's buried in Taiping. They just say, oh, he was my dad's brother or my grandfather's brother. So it's a complicated process. 80s old. So maybe in 10 years we'll